Hello, 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 everybody. Give me just a second. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me today. This is James. And if you are new here, I am James and I am the storage scavenger. I buy abandoned storage units and I resell the stuff that I have to support my family. I also do YouTube videos where I showcase the stuff that we find, and we also share tips and strategies for those that want to get started in reselling or in storage unit buying and learning how to do it by sharing the mistakes and the tips and things that we've learned over the last years. We built our reselling business. So thank you guys for joining us. First of all, I want to say, first one here. Hello, Ms. Lisa from Copper State Treasures. I hope you and Jason, are doing well today. Hope he gets to come home soon and see you and see your family. Have a great day. Ms. Music 55, hello, ma'am. I hope you're doing well today. We had fun last night with you. And Douglas, thank you for joining us today, Douglas. I hope you're doing great today. Miss T, thank you guys for joining us. T, over at Auctions for You, we had a great auction. We just finished up. We had a great night tonight. I had fun. And so thank you guys that showed up and joined us at the auction. Cali Reseller Lewis. Hello, Lewis. I hope you're doing well tonight. Hope California is treating you well today. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Jessica may or may not wake up in time to join us. She is actually asleep with the kids. She was getting the kids to sleep and she fell asleep too. And I decided I'm going to just let her rest. You know, she's been through a rough time. I'm going to update everybody on how she's doing and what's going on with her here in just a little bit. What I like to do with my live streams is I like to start off kind of sharing some things that we've learned through our business. Things that we've improving in our business and things that we're learning from some of our own mistakes. And today, over the last week, I have been on top of everything else. I've been working on Danica's challenge. I've been working on this new storage unit we just bought yesterday. I've been working on all this other stuff. Jessica was in the hospital and she got out on Friday, so I was dealing with that. But while all of that was going on, I was also involved in a YouTube growth challenge that I was given by another channel that I follow on how to grow and improve my YouTube. And I'm going to be talking more about them here in just a little bit. In fact, I'm going to bring up their channel here in just a minute, just so that I can share the link so that if anybody's interested in following them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the things we've learned about YouTube over the last week or so, and some of the huge mistakes that not only we've made, but we see other channels making that are hurting their growth and their ability to really impact the community the way they want to. Now, first of all, I have to put the caveat. You can do whatever you want with your YouTube channel. Some people don't want to grow. Some people don't even want to grow to monetization to 1,000 subscribers. I don't understand that, but some people don't. They don't care. And if that's you, then that's fine. You don't have to do any of the things I'm talking about. But if you want to grow your channel, if you want to have an impact, and if you want to increase your income through your YouTube channel, some of these things are going to help you be able to do that. It's helping us. I'm already seeing a difference in our channel based on just implementing a few of these strategies every day over the last week. So let me pull something up real quick here. Sorry, we just finished the auction with T, and I've been running behind all day. So the channel that I have been doing this challenge with is run by a guy named Sean Cannell, and his channel is Think Media. And right here is a link to his channel. If you want to know a lot about how to improve YouTube, these are some of the best people to teach you how to improve your YouTube channel. I joined their YouTube challenge like 3 weeks ago, before Jessica got sick and before the challenge came from Danica and everything else. And the actual challenge was like this week. So, and it was a very limited time thing, and it was all done live with no replay available. So I had to engage in it while it was available. But it was some really, really great information, and I got a lot of insight not only into my own channel, but what I see a lot of other YouTubers in this community struggling with. And I only saw like one or two people from this community involved in the challenge. Lisa says she's already subbed to them. That's great. They are actually one of the ones that I have learned from since I started YouTube. And actually before I started, when I started contemplating YouTube is how I found them. They just recently did a 7-day challenge. A lot of it was promoting one of their programs that's like a $2,000 program, and there's no way I was going to be able to afford that. But I still got a lot of value out of the content and out of the challenge, and I'm going to share some of the things we learned. So one of the biggest things that I have learned, and this affects not only YouTube, because I have 5 YouTube channels. Now, you don't see me talking about the other ones, but I have 5 YouTube channels. I don't do content on all of the other ones. In fact, I've been contemplating spending some time and energy, and I've been trying to work on building some of the other channels. And now I'm like, whoa, pull back. Because one of the things that they talked about a lot in the very beginning is the power of being focused. And you've got to focus in on one channel, one thing, and growing that one thing to the goals that you have for that channel. Whether it's 1,000 subscribers, if it's 10,000 subscribers, if it's 100,000 subscribers, but you want to set goals for your channel. And until you attain those goals, don't start working on another channel or another project, because that's going to distract you and split your attention away. And I see a lot of people doing this. I see people that are running 2 or 3 channels, and then they're struggling to gain traction on any of them. Yes, 5, Danica, 5. Well, we have this one here, which is my storage scavenger. I have the Prosperous Caregivers, which is my wife usually uses that one, but that's another channel. And we actually use that one. We do talk a little bit about our reselling, but we also talk about raising a special needs child. It's the Prosperous Caregivers for caregivers of special needs children. And that is kind of the focus target of that site is caregivers of special needs kids. Again, talking as a parent of a special needs child, not as an expert on understanding special needs children, but having been through a lot of struggles, been through a lot of stuff, and come through stronger because of them. So that's what we do with that channel. But we're pulling away from that for a little while. I also have a woodworking channel that I started like 3 years ago, and I have like 20 videos in 3 years on that channel, but it's still there. If you actually search my name, Storage Scavenger doesn't even come up. You'll see one that's called I Am Relations Media, which is my channel that I had 10 years ago. I don't even have access to it to take it down. I don't have access to the Google account anymore, so I can take down the videos. But, there's some of the worst videos on YouTube. I was terrible 10 years ago. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And YouTube's changed a lot since then, too. So, we are learning the power of focus. And I pulled back and I said, I need to do this with more than just YouTube. And Danica gave me her challenge last week or week before last, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. It was a few days ago, a week and a half ago, I think. And I realized through that too, I also need to apply that power of focus there. So this is why one of the things that I have talked about is tonight's auction with T is probably going to be the last auction I do for a little while, because I need to focus on building that eBay store and getting my eBay store rebuilt and built back up. I was just talking to T. I am going to do the reseller auction this weekend, and then that's going to be it. I'm not going to be doing any more auctions. Even my Thursday night auctions that I was trying to get started, I'm not going to be doing any auctions on YouTube for a little while. I'm going to focus my efforts on building my eBay store, and I'm going to keep that focus until I get it up to 1,000. I don't think I'm going to get to the 1,000 by Q4, but I'm going to keep that focus on my eBay store until I get to 1,000 subscribers. Hello, Brittany. Thank you for joining us. Link to my eBay store is down in the description. But let me see if I can pull it up. It takes me a minute to find it here. Oh, that's on the wrong. Hold on. I got to get the right window open. My eBay. So right now I'm sitting a little bit less than I wanted to be at this point because of Jessica being sick and everything has slowed me down a lot. But I am, well, I'm back down. I was almost at 100 and I'm back down to 85 items in my eBay store because I've had some sales, because I start listing and guess what? My sales went up. Imagine that. So now I've got to replace stuff and continue the growth cycle. So that's actually one of the things I'm doing. I'm actually raising my daily goals just because I've got to take into account what's selling and being able to replace that stuff as well. So I'm going to probably be trying to list between 25 and 30 items a day from now until the beginning of October to get my store built back up. And that's just my eBay. I'm still going to be doing my content here on YouTube as well. And I'm also searching for my store here. I'm trying to figure out how to get to it. There is me, but where is visit store? There it is. There we go. Copy. There is the storage scavenger store. That is my eBay store that I share. And, you know, one of the things, like I see a lot of people that are running multiple eBay stores and multiple platforms and multiple stuff. This is coming back to that power of focus. If you really want to impact, set your goals for yourself. And when you get to those goals, then you can branch out and do other things. But until you reach those goals of what you want, whether it's YouTube channel or if it's your eBay store or your Mercari store, your Poshmark store, how many listings do you want? How many sales do you want? Until you start reaching those goals, don't start branching out, because when you start branching out, you thin out and you kind of dilute the effectiveness you have on those platforms. One of the other things that I've learned is about with YouTube, and I'm also applying it to my eBay, is are you being passive in your expectations of growth? So in other words, you're putting stuff out there, you're putting content out there on YouTube, you're putting products out there on eBay. And are you just putting it out there and expecting it to grow on its own? Or are you actively tracking, watching what it's doing and trying to adjust things and trying to do what you can to improve your store or your traffic to your store, your traffic to your YouTube channel? What are you doing to try to get people there? Yes, eBay will send a lot of people to your store, but if you're not trying to send people to your store, that's why I started YouTube. 90% of why I started YouTube a year ago was to send people to my eBay store, to showcase the stuff I was listing on eBay and send people to my store. That's why I started YouTube. It's kind of shifted in the time since, mainly because a lot of the community is other resellers that I have built up following on my channel. And it's kind of shifted from being about, you know, trying to drive traffic to my sales and more about trying to share my experiences with other people that are trying to learn the same journey I'm on. But, you know, I still do some of both. I'm still showcasing my finds. I'm still showcasing a lot of what we're listing, and then sending traffic through my videos to my eBay store. And I have made sales on my eBay store by doing that. And I've gotten personal emails. New to my channel. Okay, I'll get to that in just a little bit, Shelly. But right now, I am kind of talking about my journey over the last week. So one of the things that I learned was and this is the next thing that I wanted to talk about. And I see resellers doing this all the time with their eBay listings. You want to drive as much traffic through the free stuff and the work that eBay does for you as possible. So what do? You put certain keywords in certain locations and certain orders in the titles and in the descriptions of your eBay listings so that you can maximize the amount of traffic that eBay sends to your listings so that you can potentially make that sale. But I see a lot of resellers that understand this when it comes to their listings, but they're not doing it with their YouTube videos. You see them doing a live stream and it's what? Working Hangout. It's come chat with me. Who's going to YouTube and typing in come chat with me for a channel to come watch their videos? They're not. You've got to keyword optimize your video titles. And I started doing this more myself, and I'm starting to do more research into the keywords that I'm using and how to target those specific keywords to get traffic into my videos. And since I've started doing that, I have seen not just a small trickle, I have seen an explosion of traffic to some of my videos where before I was getting like 10, 15, 20 views on a video within the first week of the video being live. Now I'm getting 100 within the first day. And some of those are coming from suggested search, from being suggested from other people's videos with similar keywords. Some of those are coming from YouTube search and getting some of those videos showing up in YouTube search. Some of those are coming from other people sending people to my channel because they watched a video and they saw something that somebody was interested in. And then what are you doing to get out there and grow your channel? I had somebody mention the other day, every live stream I go to, I see you up there on the screen. You're right. And I'm going to continue doing that. Every time they drop that link in the chat and they say, hey, who wants to jump in here? I'm one of the first ones clicking it. Sometimes I'm one of the only one clicking it because I want to be in front of people that might be interested in the content on my channel. And if you like what content I'm providing and you like the conversation I'm having on their channel, maybe you'll come check mine out. I mean, I do it because I like the people. I love Lisa. I love jumping on with Copper State Treasures. I love being in there with you and Danica. But I'm also doing it because I got, like, when I did that last week, I got like 10 subscribers to my channel, people that had never heard of me before. So what are you doing to put yourself out? That's one of the things that I've been doing since I started YouTube. I was a month in the first time I got on a live stream. That was with Fat Man the Flipper. And within a week, I had 250 subscribers. I was at 34 that first time I got on. Now, it's not growing as fast, but that's how I've been growing my channel, how I've gotten to 750 subscribers in less than a year, because I've seen other people. I met people during this challenge that have been doing YouTube for a year and a half and have less than 500 subscribers. A year and a half. I haven't even hit my 1 year anniversary yet because I started in October. The reason I've grown that way is because I'm getting out there and I'm putting myself in front of people every chance I can get. I can't do it every day. I can't be on everybody's live stream because I have other things to do in my business. But I try to take the opportunities I do have. And when I do have the time, I try to get out there and just share my story with people and just share our experiences. And it's not anything hokey. Heck, half the time I get up there and I just sit there and I'd say like maybe 5 or 6 times I'll jump into the conversation because I'm one of those people that if I don't have something of value to add to the conversation, I'm going to sit back and listen. But if I have something that I think is of value to the conversation going on, I'm going to jump in and say what I got to say. Thank you, Danica. I love you too. I love y'all's channel. Y'all have been doing great, and I enjoyed, I got on with music last night. Had a nice chat with her. I got to meet Matt. Hadn't never met Matt before on a live stream. Got to meet Matt. We got to chat for a little while. He's a really cool dude. I just recently met Louie from Lone Star Picker. He's right here just up the road from me. He lives like less than 30-minute drive from me. Just met him. We were on a live the other night too. So I've met a lot of people. I've built a lot of relationships with people because I'm willing to put myself out there. So if you want to grow your channel, when those people say invite you to jump in on those live streams, jump in if you can. I don't know, you always can't always. I've had times, sometimes I've got the kids, or sometimes I'm not even home. I'm out and about somewhere. But if I can, I take advantage of it. And that's what I urge other people to do. If you want to grow your channel, take every opportunity you can to get in front of new people that don't know about you and your channel, because that's going to drive more people to your channel. Because every time I've done it, they're always like, hey, y'all, somebody drop his link in the chat. Well, there's more subscribers coming to my channel. And it's not, here's the other thing. Something else I learned this last week. To get monetized, to get to that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, subscriber numbers are like essential. But once you get past that 1,000, the number of subscribers you have really doesn't mean jack. If you have 1,000 or if you have 1,000,000 subscribers, it really doesn't mean anything. What matters is the number of views you're getting on your videos, whether it's coming from subscribers, whether it's coming from, because that's where, when you get monetized, that's what's going to matter. How many views you're getting and how much watch time you're getting with those views. Those are the two most important factors to longevity on your YouTube. One, it's going to improve your CPM. If you get better keywords and you start getting more views and better, you're going to get your CPM rate, which is the amount you get paid per video, per 1,000 views on your video. That's how they determine that, is how many views you're getting and the specific keywords you're targeting. Different keywords get a different CPM. So certain keywords will get you higher pay than the $1.39 per video that some people think, oh, it's just a set $1.39 per video. No, it's not. It's based on the CPM set for that particular keyword that you're targeting with that video. And it's also about the number of views you're getting on that video. If you get more views, you're going to get more money. If people watch longer, then they're going to get more ad impressions because they're going to put those other ads in there. Video length. I see a lot of people putting up 4 or 5 minute long videos. You want your minimum videos to be 8 minutes, because if with an 8-minute video, you'll get 2 ads on that video, one in the beginning and one at the end, or in the middle. Good night, Danica. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming. So these are just some of the things that we learned with Think Media last week. Looking at your analytics. I started looking at my analytics, started looking at what is working with our channel, what's not working. It's been surprising, some of the things that I found. Some of the most popular videos that I've had were videos that I didn't think were going to get any views. And they have some of the longest watch times, and it's confusing to me because, like, I have auction videos from stuff that sold like months ago that are getting views and long watch times now. And I'm like, dude, that stuff sold like 2 months ago. Why are you watching an auction that happened 2 months ago? But for some reason they are. I don't know. And then how are you organizing your content? Don't forget to, don't just use keywords on your videos specifically. You want to keyword optimize and do very good descriptions on your playlists, because your playlists can also rank in search. They can show up in recommended content on other people's videos. That the little recommended bar on the sideline, not only will that show individual videos, it can show playlists as well. So if you optimize your playlist, you can be popping up there, and you get somebody into a playlist that has 10 videos that are 8 minutes long. That's 80 minutes worth of watch time that somebody's going to sit there and watch your content. And that's what you want. You want bingeable content that people can watch over time. That's why, like, when I do these units that have multiple days of filming, I put all that into one content. I just started a new playlist where all the Christmas stuff, so any videos we have where we're finding Christmas stuff, I'm putting that into my Christmas playlist. So all of our Christmas stuff videos will be in one spot. So you want to see what all the Christmas stuff we've ever found? It's all in one place. You can go binge watch our Christmas stuff. Now there's only like 3 videos in there right now, but over time, as we build our channel, we're going to grow. one of my goals right now, and it's been a goal I've had for a while, is to get my channel to 100 videos. And we're closely approaching that. We're almost to 80 right now. That's why I'm doing so much content. That's why I'm doing content 5 days a week, because I'm trying to get my channel to 100 videos. Because I think by the time I get to 100 videos, especially as I'm implementing these strategies, I should be to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully getting close to that 1,000 or 4,000 watch hours of time. That's why I'm doing 2 lives a week. And these lives are an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours long, because that's building up my watch time so that by the time we get to the end of this stuff, it's going to impact how much I can do stuff for my channel. So just some of the biggest things, just to recap real quick, and then we're going to start Q&A and just chit chat. First of all, optimize your videos, just like you do your listings on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark. If you're listing your stuff, you got to use those keywords to get the traffic to your stuff. It's the same thing with your videos here on YouTube. Optimize for those keywords, for the things that are going to draw people that are interested in your content to your channel. Now, it's stupid to optimize for things that have just like it would be stupid to be optimizing your listings on eBay for something that has absolutely nothing to do with your listing, just so that you can get views on it, because you're not going to make a sale, because you're drawing people into your product that has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's the same thing with YouTube. That's what most people call clickbaiting. With clickbaiting, people are trying to draw people in, and then the video has absolutely nothing to do with what they were drawn in for. And it's not relevant to their interests. I don't want, and this is where, I have used some of the networking sites out there, the channels that help network and build your channel and get you subscribers. And I like them. The most notable one is Pusa Studios. I love Pusa Studios. I love Andrew and Cassandra. They're great people. I love their members content and their content on YouTube growth strategies. But when it comes to the networking aspect, I'm kind of backing off from them. And the reason why is because 99% of the subscribers that I've gotten from them have never come back to my channel after they put that subscribe button. I don't want subscribers just to have a subscriber count. I want subscribers that are coming to watch my videos. And the subscribers they're sending me are not interested in my content. They're just subscribing so that somebody will subscribe to them. It's kind of a backdoor sub for sub, and I'm not into sub for sub. The reason sub for sub doesn't work is because it doesn't really help your channel if those people aren't watching your videos. And it's kind of what they're doing. And I love their games and I love their stuff. And I have found some channels that I frequently watch because of them. At the same time, you cannot rely on that for building your channel, because that's giving you a lot of empty numbers, and those are not people coming to help your site. They're not really helping your channel if they're not coming back to watch your videos. Hello, Betty Webb. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you coming in. We're going to start Q&A here in just a minute. I'm almost done ranting and rambling. So, again, optimize your videos. Better thumbnails. That's one of the big things I'm learning, is how to do better thumbnails. That's one of the key areas I'm working on. My 2 biggest areas I'm working on right now and I'm improving on myself is my thumbnails and my titles and descriptions. So in the titles and descriptions, they have to be targeted towards the people that you want to watch your video, like this one. I mean, I titled this one YouTube, Secret Reseller Secrets for YouTube Growth, because these are the secrets that resellers need to learn. These are things that the YouTubers or resellers on YouTube need to learn if they want to grow their channel. And a lot of people aren't doing it. It's not just me. This is something I see a lot of people do. I mean, how many times do I see somebody pop up and they're like, come chat? That doesn't entice me to come. Why do I want to come chat? I've got work to do. But if you say, hey, learn these listing secrets for eBay, well, you know what? I'm working on my eBay listings. I might want to go check that out, because it might be something to help me with my challenge. It's something that's relevant to what I'm working on. Have a reason for going live. Now, again, If you don't want to grow your channel, you going live just for the sake of going live and you just want to hang out, you can do that, but it's not going to help you grow your channel if you're doing it that way every single time. At least sometimes you need to optimize what your content is and kind of organize your content instead of just having random videos. So enough of my rant. That's things that I'm working on improving myself. I want to see other people succeed. I want to see everybody that I know in this community get to 1,000 subscribers and get past that and start growing and building and really blowing up YouTube. I think we could have 100,000 subscribers on every one of our channels and really blow this whole niche out of the water. But it's up to y'all if you want to do it. You can do it. You can ignore me, whatever. Let's chat. Let's have a good time. Hope everybody's doing well. I did have a question I wanted to address earlier. I wasn't trying to ignore you, but let me get up here. It was Shaw Tower. Let's see, where was it? What do you love to collect? Nothing. I am not a collector. I am a seller. My stepmother was a collector, aka hoarder, and I don't collect anything. So, new to your channel and late, I'd like to know what kind of work you did in the prison. So that's a great question. I was a security officer in a privately run prison. It was not run by the state, it was run by a private company. Until I promoted up, I became a sergeant. I was a night shift sergeant for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then I became a lieutenant, and I was a shift lieutenant for the last 11 months that I was there. I worked there for 6 years. I worked my way up from basic CO all the way up to a lieutenant. I was running the shift basically. I kind of got to a point, and this is when I was building my eBay or my reselling store, my business. I got to a point where I realized I had to compromise my integrity every single day I walked in, and I hated the job. I hated what I was doing, and I couldn't motivate in my position as a leader of my team, and I couldn't motivate my team to come to work and do their job when I didn't want to be there either. There was changes going on in how the company did their business. There was changes going on in the state contracts and what they were doing with the facility. And it became a very dangerous environment, more so than it was previously. And it just got to a point where I was just decided I did not need to be there. And I just definitely did not need to be there in a position of leadership when I did not believe in what I was doing myself. I've always believed that one of my most important attributes is my integrity. And if I feel like I'm having to compromise my integrity on a daily basis just to do my job, it's not a job for me. And it was a very difficult decision, but there were several things that led to that. And there's some of it I cannot discuss because of contractual issues that I can't discuss some of that stuff. But there was a lot of issues going on within the facility, but it was also, I built up my business on the side with the intention of it replacing my job. I was also only making, when I worked at that prison, when I left, my highest paid year was my last year there. I only made $31,000. I didn't have very much income to replace with my reselling in order to replace my job. I also don't need what I was making because, one, we have some other income from other sources. Two, we have zero debt except for our home. And three, we had saved up money for emergency situations, like if I didn't make money for 8 months. And so we actually planned ahead for that and had that in place before I left my job. I left my job in November of last year and went to work full time reselling. And one of the things I have said over and over again in my videos is I did that too soon. Financially, we were in a position we could handle it, but my business was not stable enough and it was still volatile and up and down. Um, and then a lot of personal crises hit back to back to back to back from the start of this year all the way up until just last week, that have interfered with my ability to grow my business the way I should. So collector of everything. That was my mother. Yes. She was a collector of everything. She was she was a hoarder. It 90% of the stuff at her house wound up in the trash when she passed away. But the things that we did keep some of the stuff that she had, and that's what started our business. That was the initial stuff I started listing on eBay, was the stuff out of her hoard. And I started selling stuff. I sold a bunch of Boy Scout stuff like within the first month. Before I even got half of the Boy Scout stuff listed, I had to get my limits raised because they put the like 5 item limits per month when you first open an eBay store. My eBay store has only been open for a year. And my limit right now is at 500, and I haven't hit that limit yet. So I haven't tried to get it raised again, but it's been there for like several months. So I could probably get it raised again. I'm hoping they'll raise it for me as I go through this challenge, because I can't reach the 700 listings with a 500 limit a month limit. But I'm also trying to organize myself better as I go doing this challenge too. Tonight's auction was kind of the last distractive focus. And after tonight's auction, now I'm going to be focusing on hammering out these listings on eBay. Pretty much that's exclusively what I'm going to be doing, that and cleaning up my storage, because I'm trying to downsize my storage. I have 2 10 by 30 units. That is my storage. If you've seen some of my videos, it's a freaking disaster over there. And it's, I mean, basically 20 by 30 worth of storage. It's a small warehouse, basically. And it's so disorganized that so much stuff was just thrown in there because I was in a rush to get those units cleaned out. And then things happened that kept me from getting over there and getting it cleaned out. Now I'm trying to get that mess cleaned up. And a lot of the stuff I'm listing on eBay is coming out of that mess. So, but we're also donating a bunch of it. I'm sorting through it, trying to pull clothes out. And pull out the stuff that I want to list and donating all the rest. A lot of that stuff too was bought to, hello, Shamrock Pixie. I just saw you popping in. Destiny, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, you want to go back and watch the first 30 minutes if you want to, grow both of your new channels. Because one of the things I talk about is not doing more than one channel at a time. But she had a whole bunch of stuff. She had Avon stuff, which a lot of that stuff wound up getting donated because after months it never sold. We sold a bunch of Boy Scout stuff, and that stuff did sell pretty quick. I did have some video game stuff, some vintage video game stuff, because she had my Nintendo and everything from when I was a kid. And I never play that stuff. I'm not interested in keeping any of that stuff. But I think it's because she kept everything that now I don't want to keep anything. And I've had like 3 or 4 different times in my life, I've lost everything I had and started over from nothing. I mean, literally, I had my car and that was it. And what fit in my car. And if it didn't fit in my car, I didn't have it. 3 or 4 times in my life, I've done that. So I don't have a personal attachment to things. And I had a mentor that told me that a long time ago. If you really want to reach the level of peace and happiness that you really want in your life, he told me, you need to let go of your attachment to things, because attachment to things will keep you unhappy. because you'll lose things and then you'll be unhappy, or you won't have things that you want and you'll be unhappy. Let go of the emotional attachment to things. And I did. It took a long time, it took a lot of work, but I did that. And I'm at peace and I'm happy. Whether I have now, there's things that I want and would like to have. Absolutely. And I have goals to achieve some of those things and gain some of those things in my life. But I know if I was to lose everything I had and I had nothing but my car, as long as I had transportation, basic clothing, and food to eat and shelter over my head, I'd be fine. I don't need anything more than the absolute necessities of survival. As long as I can survive and I have the necessities of survival, I'm fine. I don't have an attachment to sports or entertainment or anything. Why no super chats? Because I am not monetized yet. You have to build your channel to 1,000 subscribers and get 4,000 watch hours of view time within a 1 year period in order to get monetized on YouTube. And so until I get to that, I can't get super chats, can't do super stickers, we can't do memberships. I hear that they're releasing the restrictions because it used to be you had to have 10,000 subscribers to do memberships, but I hear that they're lowering that now, and more people that like 1,000 subscribers are able to get them. I think because Robin's only at like 1.5 thousand, and she's already got memberships open on her site. But I do plan on having all that on my channel eventually. I am working very intentionally on growing my channel to that point right now. That's one of the things that we're working on. That's why I went to this strategy session last week. Is because I'm trying to improve my channel. I'm trying to improve my videos. I'm trying to be more entertaining. I'm trying to bring more of my personality, because I'll go back and watch some of my old videos and I'm like, God, no wonder I don't get any views on these videos because I was boring as hell. I'm trying to bring more of my personality and more of who I am, because I like to joke around. I like to kid around, but a lot of that doesn't come through on my videos. I get all business and I get into this mode of get the work done. And so it doesn't come across the fun that we have. And sometimes the playing around and that stuff, because I'm usually recording myself. So when I'm playing around and stuff, I'm not recording. Good morning, Lobster. I hope you're doing fantastic today. You hate to lose your cats. Well, and that's okay. I mean, I would hate to lose, my family. I hate to lose my kids, but at the same time, I'm not. It's an emotional maturity thing, and it's a thing about understanding what your priorities in life are. One of the priorities I made in my life a very long time ago, and I am very far from achieving this, by the way, on a permanent basis, is peace and happiness and inner peace. And being able to be at inner peace is even more important to me than being happy all the time. I don't have to be happy, but I have to be at peace with myself. I have to be at peace with the decisions I'm making in my life. And I came to this kind of decision about, I don't know, 20 years ago, that was going to be one of the priorities in my life. And so I studied what makes people peaceful. I've studied what makes people content. I've studied, because anything you want to achieve in your life, whether it's more peace, more happiness, success in your business, anything you want to achieve in your life, growth on your YouTube channel, you have to study it and understand it in order to succeed at it. It doesn't matter what it is in your life. If you want to lose weight, it's the same thing. Study what makes people gain and lose weight, and you'll learn how to lose weight. But most people don't. Most people just passively say, I want to lose weight, and then they're passive about it, and then they're upset because they didn't lose weight. If you want to study, and you got to really realize what it is that you want. Why do you want to lose weight? You don't want to lose weight just for the sake of losing weight. You want to lose weight so you can be healthier, so you can be happier, so you can be more peaceful with yourself. I decided to make being at peace with myself a high priority in my life. So I started studying what peaceful people do to make themselves peaceful. One of my best books that I ever read on the subject is Dr. Wayne Dyer's 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace, which is kind of how I got introduced to him. I talk about his stuff all the time. That was one of the first books of his I ever read. And it's an amazing book. I live by a lot of the principles he teaches in that book. And it's an amazing way to live. And it's not easy for me because, it's why I like to go to Destiny's Saturday morning shows. And I don't share this a whole lot with people. I don't think I've ever shared this with people on here on YouTube. Not only was my mom, my stepmother, a hoarder, she was extremely abusive. I grew up with a very, very low opinion of myself, with a very low self-esteem, very low self-worth. And I don't say that to get people to feel sorry for me. I've spent years of my life thinking I was a failure simply because I didn't live up to her standards. I didn't live up to her expectations. I didn't live up to the life that she thought I should be living. And she was kind of right to a point. She got the age wrong, but she did tell me that growing up that if I didn't change my ways, I was going to be either dead or in prison. And I did spend 6 years in a prison. What she didn't realize is I was on the wrong side of the bars and I was working there. But I've never been arrested a day in my life. And I got to a point where I just had to put all that crap behind me and I had to deal with it. And I had to forgive her and I had to forgive myself for all the years of wasting my time and wasting my life feeling sorry for myself. And I decided I had to decide what I wanted in my life. And I decided that I didn't want to be angry. I decided that I didn't want to be hateful. I decided I wanted to be at peace, and you cannot be angry and hateful towards other people and find peace within yourself. It's just impossible. So if you want to find peace within yourself, you've got to let go of the anger and the hatred you feel, no matter what other people have done to you. I mean, she was extremely abusive. And you know what? When she passed away in 2014, two people showed up at her funeral. Me and her sister. That's it. Everybody else that showed up at her funeral was there to support us. But as far as people that showed up for her, because almost everybody else that was there was co-workers of her sister. And they were there to support her. Two of us showed up for her. That's sad. My dad didn't show up. My brother didn't show up. None of her friends showed up. It's sad that somebody goes that way. The only reason I was able to do it was because I had already gone through this process of forgiving her and forgiving myself and forgiving and learning to move on from all the abuse. Because she used to beat the crap out of me just because she had a bad day. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna overdo punishment or no, she would have a bad day at work and take it out on me and beat the crap out of me. So I don't want to break it down. Again, I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I've made peace with that a long time ago. And I want you to understand, if you've been through those kind of situations, you can make peace with it. It's not easy and it's not fun and it's not always something that's going to be what you think you want, but you can find peace within yourself and you can learn to forgive the other people. You can learn to forgive yourself. And she never once apologized. She never once accepted responsibility for what she did. It wasn't about her. I came to a point where I realized forgiveness was not about her at all. It was about me not holding on to the pain that she caused me. It was about me coming to peace with myself and not holding on to the pain that she created in my life. That's what forgiveness is about. It has absolutely nothing to do with the other person. And I love I love this. I learned this from Wayne Dyer, but I think he said he got it from Mark Twain. He says, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the foot that tramples upon it. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the foot that tramples upon it. It's about sending peace and love instead of hate. I said this in one of my earlier videos just a few months ago when I was addressing some of the drama going on YouTube. And this is kind of where it comes from. The biggest enemy we have is not other people that we don't like or that are talking bad about us. The biggest enemy we have as a human race is hatred itself. Hatred of other people, whatever your reason for hating anybody is, hatred is your biggest enemy, and you need to eliminate that from your life. When you do, you'll have much more peace in your life. You'll be much more successful. You'll be able to work with people from all sides of every topic. I'm going kind of deep, I know, but yeah, me too. Lisa, Wayne Dyer, I've been listening to him. The first time I ever heard him speak was in like 2099 or 2000. And I heard some of his stuff. And then whenever he did 10 Secrets for Success in Inner Peace, I got a copy of that book and I read that book, and I didn't read. I'm still not an avid reader. I read quite a bit. I have read everything he ever wrote. I even went backwards. One of the books on my bookshelf that I have read front to back 2 or 3 times is Erroneous Zones, which was his very first book written in the 70s. I found a copy at one of our thrift shops, and I bought it, not to sell, I bought it to keep and read it myself. And that was before he started getting into the spirituality and inner peace and self-actualization. And that was really about psychology and understanding human psychology and how our inner workings work. I love Wayne Dyer. He's one of my biggest mentors in my life. Even though I've never met the man before he passed away, he was still one of the biggest mentors I ever had. Well, you can do that. If you want to be wheels and deals, that is awesome right there. Forgiving many people in my life that have been doing me wrong through all the abuse I've been through. And now I want to be a motivational speaker. Then study what it takes to be a motivational speaker and get out there and do it. Start a YouTube channel. You want to start motivational speaking? Start a YouTube channel and start just sharing your story. It's not about other people. It's not about, just start by sharing your story, sharing who you are. Really clarify your philosophies. And if you want to be a motivational speaker, study people that do that. Study how they do that. And you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. It's just a matter of, are you willing to do the work it takes to get there? Anybody can do it. That's what I tell people all the time about reselling. You want to be a reseller? Start selling stuff. Start studying what it takes to sell stuff. Start getting out there and actually doing it. I didn't study reselling for months and months and months and try to figure out all the ins and outs of reselling before I sold my first item. I just went out there. I said, okay, I want to start this reselling business. I did a little bit of research. I got over there. I created me an eBay account. I put some items up for sale and sold stuff. Bam, I'm a reseller. If you've ever sold a single item that was used, you're a reseller. Now all you got to do is repeat the process over and over and over. Bargain Effect Tommy, thank you so much for coming, dude. Appreciate you. Thank you about the mindset, too. I've been working on my mindset for like 25 years. My mindset is honestly part of why, though, it comes and goes in waves, and I still get depressed. I had a huge depression come over me when everything went crazy at the first of this year. Jessica got sick, Emily got sick. I screwed up some stuff in my business, and I was feeling guilty for that. And then COVID broke out, and everything went to shit. And I took a 4-month break, not just from YouTube, but from my business, because my mind was all fucked up. I've spent the last 3 months digging. I spent about a month really. I started back in like late June, early July, but I was working on myself, getting myself back to where I knew I needed to be, and getting my energy back to where it needed to be, and my mind back to where it needed to be, so I could get back into my business. Because I knew if I had tried to do YouTube where I was in June, I'd have destroyed my channel instead of building it. Because my mind was all fucked up. I've been actively working on it. It's just like I was saying just a little bit ago. If you want to master something, if you want to improve something, you want to succeed at something, you got to study it. So I've been studying mindset stuff. You know, one of the best books on my shelf still is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I got a copy of that book almost 20 years ago, and it is still one of the most read books in my bookshelf. When I decided I needed to get my finances in order and I needed to improve my personal finances, I started reading what people wrote about personal finances. And I figured out that some people were writing crap that I didn't agree with, so I quit reading their stuff. I mean, I don't care if you got a rich dad or a poor dad. I'm not going to listen to what he has to say. But then I found Dave Ramsey. And I had heard of Dave Ramsey, but I never really followed his stuff. And at first, it was just kind of like, yeah, that's a great idea. Kept doing the same shit I was already doing. Things got worse. We wound up doing everything he said not to do, like buying a house while we were still in debt. And then crisis after crisis started hitting, and we were in a bind, and we got to that point of saying, we're never going to do this again. And we got on the plan. We started doing our budgets. We started doing all the stuff he teaches. And within 18 months, we were debt free except for our house. We had started the business. We were growing. I was growing as a person, and we grew closer together as a couple. The stuff he teaches works if you work it. Absolutely. There's some things I disagree with him on, but for the most part, 99% of what he teaches is absolutely what we've done to get to where we are now. And we wouldn't have been able to make it through this year had we not been following his plans for the year before. We wouldn't have survived, and I wouldn't have been able to quit the prison. I am so glad, because our prison was one of the first prisons in the state of Texas that got a COVID outbreak. It came to our prison first, the prison that I used to work at. And I had just left working there like 3 months before. Absolutely glad that I no longer worked there when that happened. They even tried to get me to come back to work there. Hell no. Ain't no chance in hell. You knew him 30 years ago, T? See, I just found him like 5 years ago. But he's changed my life, changed my family tree. That's why we're able to take off for 4 months. It's why I don't have to make that much from my eBay store. You got to realize, with where we're at financially right now, if I make $2,000 a month from my reselling, we're doing good. We're fine. That's really all I need. I hope to make more than that, because I want to invest more back into the business, more into my YouTube channel, more into growing and doing more things. And of course, the more we can do, then we can pay off the house early. We can pay off other things. But I mean, we're in a financial position because really the only major thing we have is our mortgage, and then just our regular utilities and bills and stuff. So we only need a little over $2,000 a month to live off of. Anything above that is gravy. But you wish you knew him 30 years ago. I love that. In case anybody missed that, everybody, look at what Destiny just said. Wheels and deals. And I just want to kind of shade that part out and say, everybody in this chat, whatever it is you want, you can do it. Your feet will take you where your heart is. That's awesome. I don't know where you got that from, Destiny, but that's amazing. I love that. That's great stuff right there. More people need to hear that and believe it. You know, you can hear these little motivational quotes and stuff all day long, but until you start believing it and taking action and making it a daily part of your life, things won't change. You have to get to the point that you decide, I've had enough. I want things to be different, and I'm never going to accept the other way being normal again. And you can't be afraid of being different. And there's so many people that come to me that are like, oh, well, you should do this because that's what everybody else in your family does, or this is what other people around us have always done. Well, guess what? Look at their life. I don't want to live that life. You know, I have people come to me in my family that are like, you know, why don't you do what your father-in-law did for personal finance? I said, because he's broke and I don't want to be broke. He's retired and he's broke and he's going deeper in debt. He's going the opposite direction of where I want to go. I love him. And I'll be there for him if he ever wants to change, but I'm not going to support him in his bad behavior. And I'm not going to follow in his footsteps just because that's what I'm supposed to do, because that's what the family does. Nope. You've got to make your own decisions. You've got to do what's right for you first and your core family. And preferably when you make major decisions, you make those decisions with your core family. In other words, your household, whether it's you and your wife and your kids. It's a family. And you can include even maybe not the babies, but teenagers, young adults, all the way up to 9-10 years old. They can be included in some of those conversations of what direction your family is going for. Because I think you should have personal goals, but you should also have family goals, and they should have some input in what those goals are. Even if it's, we want to go to Disney. Hey, that's a goal. Let's work towards that goal. As long as we're working towards it. But it's whatever you want. It's an Irish proverb. Okay. Your life will take you wherever you want. You can, whatever you focus on, whatever you put your attention and your time on is what you're going to have in your life. If you're focused on growth and on strategy and on improving, focus on those areas. And this is kind of what we were talking about earlier with areas of focus in your YouTube channel and in your business. But it's also true with anything in your life. Whatever you focus attention on is where you're going to grow. But if you're going in 10 million different directions at once inside your mind, then you're not going to experience growth because you're too diluted. And it's the same way with your physical well-being, with your physical actions. You want to improve your health, study health, focus on your health, spend time and energy every single day on your health physically. You want to be, and I believe in not saying what do we want to get rid of. Like, I didn't focus on, I want to get rid of my debt. Instead, I wanted to focus on, I want to improve my finances. I want to improve how much money we have. I didn't want to focus on what we didn't want. I wanted to focus on what we did want. And when we focus on losing weight, when I left the prison, I spent most of my time sitting around on my butt, and I got a gut. I'm losing that gut now, but I'm not focused on losing the gut, really. I'm not focused on losing weight. I'm focused on trying to eat healthier. I'm focused on trying to get up and do more. I'm not focused on, am I losing weight? Because that's where people struggle, because they're focusing on what they don't want. And so they're focusing their attention on the weight that they don't want, instead of focusing their attention on better health. Why do you want to lose weight? Really, it's so that you feel good, so that you're healthier, so you focus your attention, so you make a lifestyle shift on things that are going to make you healthier, and the weight loss will happen naturally. It's the same thing. You want to grow your YouTube channel, focus on things that are going to grow your YouTube channel. You want to grow your business, you want to grow your reselling business, focus on things that are going to grow your business. Focus on improving what you're already doing. And then when you start reaching the goals you have for that area, then you start expanding. And this is where I believe in multiple streams of income. I have multiple streams of income already because I have income sources outside of reselling and outside of this that I don't talk about on YouTube because it's not relevant to this channel. But I have this reselling business, and I'm going to build multiple streams of income within my reselling business. I'm going to probably do more Macari. I'm probably going to do, I hate Parsmart. I spend a little time over there, but I don't like sharing and all that stuff. I spend too much time over there. I'm going to be doing more YouTube auctions again in the future once I start getting eBay stabilized. I'm also going to be doing more Facebook Marketplace, but I'm doing one or two at a time. I've already kind of set out a strategy and a strategic approach on how I'm going to do it. I'm going to focus on eBay. eBay's going to get built up to 1,000 listings. Then we're going to move over to Facebook Marketplace. We're going to build up our Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to keep our Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to have part over there of probably about 150 to 200 items at a time listed over there because, well, I don't want to be running around all the time delivering stuff. Once I get Facebook Marketplace built up, then we're going to start looking at going back into YouTube auctions again. So I've already got a strategic plan. I didn't lay the whole plan out earlier, but I have a strategic plan in place for how I'm going to incorporate multiple streams of income back into my business. But I got to start where I'm at. And right now, where I'm at is I need to focus on one and get that one built up. And when that one gets built up, then I'll move on to the next one and continue to maintain the other one while I'm building the next one. And then as I do that, I get stronger at both. So I build those muscles and those strengths. And as I strengthen those muscles, now I can build a third. I get those to where they're reaching their goals, and it's just kind of in a maintenance mode for both of them. Then I go into a third one. And I did this 10 years ago when I used to build websites. That's where some of my other YouTube channels were about, were how to do affiliate marketing and building websites and building blogs and stuff like that. And I used to see people all the time running 20, 30, 40 blogs, and then they're complaining because none of their blogs are getting traffic. None of their blogs are making money. I had 1, 2, 3 blogs at a time, 3 at the most. And I worked on every single one of them. But I also built one, got it to where I expected it to be. Then I built the second one, got it to where I expected it to be. By the time I got the second one built, I was making some money from both of them. So I was able to reinvest the money into outsourcing and paying other people to do a lot of the work for me to build the third one. Oh, thank you, Shamrock. I appreciate you sharing it. It's the same way with your reselling business. How many people do I see out here that are been doing reselling for years and they're doing everything themselves? It's insane. And then they're trying to do a YouTube channel on top of that, which is insane. My goal is to build up my YouTube channel and my reselling business to a point where I'm paying 4 to 5 people to work for me so that I can focus on the strategies and the things that I want to focus on and making my content and doing the things that I want to do. And I'm still going to be out there picking. I'm still going to be out there working in the storage units. I'm still going to be doing, but I'm going to have 4 to 5 people working for me, doing the sorting, doing the listing, doing a lot of the dirty work, keeping these things organized and getting things to where I want it to be, because I've got like a 5 to 10 year plan to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. Start with one. And I've already got it in a plan. Whenever I make X much dollars every month consistently, I'm going to hire somebody because that's the money to pay them. Now I got 2 people working on my business. We build it slowly. We keep building in the same direction. you double the amount of workflow you can get done. So we start building faster. Now we got double that in an income. Guess what? Now I can hire 2 people. So now I've got 3 people working for me. See, it's something that snowballs over time. But I see people doing this with their website marketing. I see people doing this with their YouTube channel. They're trying to do everything by themselves. Dude, I am not a tech guy. And one of the first people I'm going to hire is somebody to be my camera operator and handle a lot of the tech stuff so that I don't have to do all that stuff. Thank you, Destiny. It's just good old 1970s wall planks. Yesterday was your first cross post. See, I don't even cross post. I don't cross post. I put everything on eBay right now. I put different things on Facebook Marketplace than what I put on eBay. The stuff I put on Facebook Marketplace is stuff I don't want to ship. So it's not going on eBay. The stuff I put on Facebook Marketplace is stuff like the furniture and the big stuff and the heavy stuff that I don't want to ship. But I also know Facebook Marketplace, I'm not going to get as much money for it as I could on eBay. There's stuff that I'll sell for 25, 30 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. I could sell for 100 on eBay. But then I have to mess with shipping, and I don't want to mess with shipping on that. You know, I've got furniture. I've actually seen people. People ask, what's the biggest thing you've ever sold? Well, back in 2005, whenever I first did eBay, back when eBay was an auction site and I was with my ex-wife and she kept that business when I left. But the biggest thing we ever sold was a fire truck, a 1965 working fire truck. We sold it for $15,000 on auction on eBay. The buyer came down here and picked it up from Minnesota and was taking it to a museum. We made $0 on that deal because it was a charity auction. But it's the biggest thing we ever sold. I hate these kind of walls, but it's what the house came with, and I haven't had the time to mess with it. My wife hates it. She wants to get rid of it. I don't mind it. I think it's all right. And everybody else tells me my house is too plain and boring because you see the wall right behind me, right? I mean, you see some of the furniture and stuff, but there's no pictures. That's my whole house. I don't do pictures and all that kind of stuff. So most people think I'm plain and kind of boring in my sense of decor because I don't decorate at all. I would be perfectly fine. In fact, I had when I was single, I lived in a 500 square foot efficiency apartment. I had my bedroom suite, I had a chair, and I had my TV stand. And that was it. So I don't need much. And I was perfectly fine with that. People would come over and they're like, your house is too bare. Why don't you put stuff up on the wall? I said, why? It's just going to sit there and collect dust. Then I have something else I have to clean. So, but you can do anything you want. You can have anything you want. You have to just decide that you want it and focus on it and work towards it and move towards it. And the number one thing you've got to do, and this is something I work on, I struggle with this one every day, guys. So don't think I'm being higher than anybody else. I know some people think I come off that way. I've learned this from my years of experience. The number one thing you have to do if you want to succeed, anything, anything, is you have to decide that achieving that goal is more important to you than the excuses for not doing it. Because there will always be excuses for not doing it. I had an absolutely horrendous day today. I didn't talk about this earlier. I was up late last night. I got woke up early, not in a very good mood. I had to deal with some stuff with Jessica and the kids, and had some issues with my trailer, and I didn't get out the door until like 11 o'clock this morning, and I was supposed to be up and out the door by like 7 to get everything done that needed to be done. So I get all the way up to the facility to start unloading the storage room, and I locked my keys in my car, and I can't get into my car to get my dolly out, get all my stuff so I can start bringing stuff down to load. I couldn't do anything, so I called for help. Luckily, I had Jessica's phone. I called for help. 4 hours later, they finally showed up. They didn't get there at 4 o'clock. Running around like crazy. On my way home, something blew on my car. Don't know what, but it's making this terrible squealing sound now. I think a belt or something went off on it, and I'm going to have my mechanic look at it. And I got home at like 6:40, and I have to an auction with T at 7. Now, I have all kinds of excuses for why I go to T and I say I'm not going to do the auction tonight. I've had a horrendous day. I can't do it. I'm not feeling well. You know what I did when I saw T? She's like, "You want to do this?" I said, "Yep, let's go." Because my reason for doing it, my reason why for doing it was more powerful than the excuses for not doing it. I could have said no. And she'd have been fine with it, probably. I could have told her everything that happened to me all day, and it's like, I just feel terrible, and I don't feel good, and I don't want to do it. But you know what? I got in the auction, and I had a good time. And I got to chat with people, and we got to show some stuff off. We sold some lots. Not everything sold, but hey, I think I've only ever had one auction that I actually sold every lot. So, you know what? Some things are going to go no sale. You show it again another time, and same people that were there the first time buy it. I've had that happen. People that were at an auction that passed on an item, I show it again in another item, and somebody that passed on it before winds up being the one to pay on it. And the funny thing is, they could have had it for like a third of the price if they'd have simply bid on it the first time they saw it. But they're in a different place. But I think it's funny. And I've seen that. I had a lot at an auction, and I won't say who bought it, but this person was at my first auction when I showed it. Nobody bid on it, and the starting bid was like $15. So they could have had it for $15. They waited a week. I showed it at a different auction a week later. 5 people bidding on this item. The same person that was at the first auction, and they were the only one of those 5 that was at that first auction when I showed it. The person that won it paid over $75, and they could have had it a week earlier for $15. That happens. So when things go no sale, I'm not worried about it. I'll sell it another day. I might put it in my pile of stuff that I'm listing so I can meet Danica's challenge. Hello there, Louis. Sell the heck out of it all. Auction it all. I auctioned off a lot of stuff tonight. We had some good lots. If you're into ephemera, you missed an amazing ephemera auction tonight. We had some amazing stuff there on our ephemera that went up. They got it, and I still think, they did pretty well. I still think they got a really good deal. I think that they're going to probably be able to make some money off of it. And I didn't show all of it. I still have another lot, maybe 2, of the same ephemera that I didn't show all of it tonight. So we're going to do some more later. But it's going to be a little while. First, I got to focus on my eBay, build it up, see what we can do there. Then I'm going to build up my Facebook marketplace. Then we'll start looking at doing more auctions again. And wow, well, we got more people coming by. So if you're here, we've been just kind of chit-chatting. We've been going deep on some mindset stuff and just having a good old time. So hope y'all are doing well today. And I just been up here rambling away. So, um, I don't usually do this, but anybody wants to jump on in here, I do ask that you please be wearing clothes and be nice. Other than that, come on in. If somebody wants to join me up here, talk about mindset, talk about, eBay or YouTube growth, whatever you want to talk about. If anybody has any more questions, this is kind of supposed to be a Q&A. I'm just waiting for questions. I can ramble all night long about some of this stuff too, because I've been studying mindset and spirituality and all this kind of stuff for like 25 years. So I can go all night on that stuff. If anybody wants to jump in, there's a link. Oh, pick with joy. Cool. I enjoy talking to people about this stuff, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy living with it, and I'm not perfect. I have my bad days. I don't want y'all to think, oh, I'm talking about all this great stuff, and oh man, he must have an amazing. My wife will be the first one to tell you that I'm not perfect at living up to all this stuff all the time. I try to. I try to be more that way, and I try to be compassionate with people, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes I get my head in the way. I get myself in a tizzy. I get myself in the wrong way. And there's some days that, we do everything we can not to, kill each other. That's our life, and we get a lot of extra stress because we do have a special needs daughter. For those of y'all that are new here and don't know, we have a daughter that has a brain deformity. Um, and she has very high care special needs, and she's on homebound program. She's nonverbal. She cannot walk. She cannot talk. She cannot control her own movements. She has a very, very severe form of cerebral palsy, stemming from the fact that her brain is not fully formed. And she's 7 years old. We were told she would never leave the hospital alive. She just turned 7. It depends on what you want to pick with joy. I'm not a very huge reader. I actually have a very limited selection of books, but it depends because whenever I read something, it's very, very focused. Whenever I read something, it's not just grabbing a book to read. It's okay, I'm studying this. This is what I'm going to read about. So it depends on what you want to study as to what the best book is. I mean, if you want to study, YouTube growth strategies, then The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey is not the best book to read because that doesn't really say anything about YouTube strategy. General personal development, one of the best books I've ever read was Awaken the Giant Within by Dave Ramsey. Anything ever written by Wayne Dyer. There's another one that I read just a couple of years ago. It was actually recommended to me by another blogger that I know and podcaster, and it was called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And it's basically about finding your focus and finding your purpose and your focus and what you want to do with your life and building your life, your career, everything that you're doing around that. I love the treasure hunt. I'm an okay reseller. I love the treasure hunt, and I love helping other people, sharing, the treasures that we find, because there's a lot of people that watch our channels that physically are not able to get out there and get into a storage unit and do the treasure hunt, and they kind of live vicariously through our hunt. I love the getting out there and helping other people that want to learn how to do the treasure hunting and sharing our experiences, sharing our stories. I'm not an expert, I mean, you want to go somewhere, let's see, go What the Hells, Grimes Finds, Locker Nuts, Storage Stalker, Pirate. There's 5 channels right there, and every single one of them is better at this business than I am. hands down. But I'm still out there sharing what I've learned, sharing what I've done, sharing my growth over the last year, sharing my mistakes. You want to improve yourself, be willing to be vulnerable. The Big Leap is a great one. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. 10 Secrets to Success and Inner Peace by Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of my top favorites, but he's also got, he wrote so many books. He had over 30 books out, and I would recommend every single one of them. But again, even personal development is a very vague field. What part of personal development do you want to study? You want to do spiritual development, mental development, emotional development? Those are all three part of personal development. Very different fields of study. Do you want to study the law of attraction? There's a lot of great books on that. Do you want to study mental and emotional healing? Do you want to study spirituality? What type of spirituality? Buddhism, Taoism, Native American? There's a lot of great books on each one of them. I spent 15 years of my life working as a ceremonial singer with a Native American healer. And most of their teaching is done orally, not through a written text. And I learned a tremendous amount from him. I have a lot of respect for him. I still practice a lot of the things that he taught me. There were certain things that I disagreed with, and that, we kind of went our separate ways in a spiritual way, but he's still one of my best friends. He's still one of my greatest teachers. I still talk to him on a regular basis. But I learned a lot about spirituality from working with him for over 10 years. Hey, Louis. I guess I should add you up here. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Stopped in real quick. I can't stay too long. I've been staying so many nights. Going crazy. I just want to say, hey, I like what you're talking about, though.
So, but Pick with Joy, what type of self-improvement are you interested in studying? Mental, emotional, spiritual, financial? Those are all areas of self-improvement. Weight loss, that's self-improvement. Healthy eating, healthy living, that's a part of self-improvement. Living green, that's part of self-improvement. So you got to define what part of self-improvement. Self-improvement is such a very broad, general thing that's thrown on a lot of topics. You've really got to define what it is you want to learn about it and what areas of your life you want to improve.
Mm-hmm. All aspects of higher consciousness,
I've studied higher consciousness. I've studied, I studied a lot of weird stuff. I get really weird out there with some of the stuff I study too.
Well, everybody has their different subjects, and there's so many things. Not for everybody. Some stuff that's esoteric, people wouldn't get it in mainstream. But yeah. I think we're in the same boat. I hear you. Yeah.
Like I said, I worked for 10 years with a Native American healer, and people are like, "What do you mean?"
Well, yeah, but that's not Western society, because
Western medicine doesn't acknowledge the type of work he does. But I've seen, his healing did something, because I've seen it work too ding many times with people that, modern medicine said that there was nothing they could do for it.
Yeah, but if they don't have an open mind, they're not going to have an open heart, and they're not going to listen in a way that's going to define, like you said, what self-improvement are you interested in? Or you want to follow modern day society and seeing how things unfold as we can see things are unfolding, or do you want to follow the recipes of what, quote unquote, a medicine man is, or I like to call them spiritual fathers, of different, and there's so many different types. It's like, one thing I've learned, and I don't consider myself overly religious. I was brought up religious, but in terms of spirituality, I think it's really imperative to respect other spiritualities first and foremost, you know, and I think something like that has been brought up in probably all the main traditions of religions. Once you respect everybody else, then you can like learn from each other, you know.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I agree with what you're saying, and I am a spiritual person completely. And
Yeah.
this confuses people because my wife is Catholic.
Yeah.
And she was raised Catholic. Her whole family's Catholic. And then there's this crazy white guy that does not subscribe to any religion. And I've studied a lot of them. And I believe that I believe that spirituality is about including people, but religion is about excluding and separating people.
Right.
And I don't believe in excluding and separating, so I don't buy into religion very much.
And I think that there's a good chunk of every religion has a form of spirituality, you know.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing too.
But not all spirituality is about religion, you know.
Right. You can be very spiritual without a religion, and you can be very religious without spirituality.
Not to sound vulgar, but my friend goes, "I'm religious about taking a dump every morning," you know. And it's like, okay, you know, but I'm like, but back to the self-improvement thing, you know.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to learn and what you want to study, and goal achievement would be great.
Sure.
Goals are just a matter of, here's the way I look at goal setting, and I do goals. Goals are just writing down what you want.
Yep.
And breaking it down into small enough steps that you can follow. So I have my long-term, my big goals. I mean, I want to run, you know, what I want my company to make and what I want my business to make, what I want my family to make in a year. Sure. But then I have small, attainable goals.
The community that I have attended, we talk about it in the same terms you just did. Everybody has goals that they talk about, but that's where I think a lot of the quandaries and snafus come up in people's you know, productive development in terms of whatever it is that they want to develop, whether, like you said, it's body, mind, or spirit. Yeah. And if they don't break those goals down into minor, mini little steps, like you were talking about, for example, but we call them aims. If you have a daily aim, you wake up every day, and you can break your day into different aims. You can subject yourself to that, but just have one daily aim. Like today, you know, like say if you're into self-observation and you're watching yourself yesterday being in a foul mood and everything, and I don't want to be like that today. Well, what is your aim? You know, is it psychological, or is it something emotional, or, you know, or is it something about, like you said, your body health? Like, I'm going to eat better than I did yesterday because I saw what that did to me, you know, and, you know, your blood sugar's off or whatever, you know, or you just feel the sloth of eating junk food, you know.
Well, see, I've even, like, what I've done is, okay, for example, I'm working on the challenge that Danica gave me. So I'm going to use this as an example. My goal is to get my eBay store to 1,000 items in my eBay store.
Right. Which is easily attainable if
my goal.
Aim.
So yeah, that's the big goal. So I've created some smaller goals to help me track my progress. And one of those goals is my daily goal is to list 30 items a day. I have broken that down even further because 30, that's a huge number. I don't list 30 items in a day. So I'll break it down even further. I'm going to do 5 sessions a day where I list 6 items.
There you go. Yeah.
All you have to do to reach a big goal is to repeat a very small goal over and over again. So if I do 5 times a day at 6 items, that's 30 items a day.
Yeah. Let me show you something.
I can do that in, 20, 30 minutes at a time. And then I go do something else. And I come back and I do the 6 and I do it again.
Do you do something like that where you break it down and you got your week, you got your active eBay stuff, you got your.
Okay, mine's not quite that fancy and all charted out. I just write it down on a notepad. Mine's more of a list style.
I just put it up 2 weeks ago, and you can easily steal it. It just, there's this guy named Fundamentals of Hustling. Anyway,
Tom Cruise.
long story short, find what works for you, but just keep some kind of it's a motivation board. You're going to keep activity charted. That helps just map it. And then you can take your aims, like you said. You may do it 5 steps, but then you may do like twice as much in one step because you had small littles that are easy, and then you just you cruise through the day.
Yep.
And
and one of the things I'm finding makes it easier,
yeah,
at least for me, is
Yeah.
like, okay, I have my store set up with different categories now. It's one of the things I'm working on. I'm still ironing out the kinks in my category system.
Yeah, it'll keep changing.
I'm trying to figure it out, but that's also helping me organize a little bit better. So now I'm listing. So, okay, I'm going to list 5 items right now or 6 items right now for this category. So those, because they're all the same category, they're going to be very similar. I'm going to be able to get through them a little bit faster. Then my next listing session, I'm going to do 6 items in this category.
Yes.
In a different category.
That's
so that
helpful.
I'm filling up different categories of items. A lot of those categories are going to have different price ranges. Like I've got the clothing, which is the t-shirts, and that's because most of the stuff, they're going to be, $20 to $25 range, maybe $30 range. Whereas, some of the houseware stuff is like $5 to $10 range.
To like a play in a way that's for I think a lot of resellers, we get into a rut because things are so, what's the word, monotony? You kind of just like, I can't list more than 100 of these same items. It's just, well, you want to break it up and keep flow going and stuff, But yeah, if that's what you need to do, you do it. But
yeah, that's what I do is I'll break it up. I'll go do something else, and then I'll come back to the next one. So I've got myself going though to where I'm doing 5 to 6 sessions. Like I'll get up in the morning and I'll do one. Like I did 2 before I left to go up to the stores this morning, and I came back, and then of course I've been on. So I've got 3 more sessions to do today before I go to bed. So I'm gonna have to get off my live here in just a little bit. But since I started doing that, and I break it, and it might be a 10-15 minute break and go do something else and then come back and list. But I've got to get that break in there because my brain just freezes up.
And remember this, along with whatever your little aims are to get to your goal, ask yourself and keep notes throughout the day. What is distracting me? What is keeping me from keeping my focus? Why am I not doing this? And it may just be simple as I'm being lazy right now, or I don't want to do it. That's not, or I'm distracted because life happens.
That it goes down to what I said a little bit earlier too, is your reason why for saying yes and doing it has to be stronger than the excuses for saying no.
Yes.
And that's what it
comes when down you start to out, me. That's okay. When you start out, the other important thing is don't beat yourself up. Like, don't criticize yourself. I mean, that's why we have these daily, aims to meet to the goals, because you just say, okay, today I didn't make it, but I did get 20 out of 30. That's right.
But see, awesome. If I got, say, 25 today instead of 30.
Yeah.
Or I got 20 or I got 15.
Yeah.
Well, what was I doing before when I went like 2 weeks and I didn't list anything?
Right.
So but then that's progress. I'm still making progress.
You don't criticize yourself because you're rising that plateau. There are going to be days when your goal was 30 and you end up somehow you made 45 or 50. Who knows? Maybe they're easy things, but
my biggest listing day ever. I had one day I listed 76 items in one day.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, a lot of them were very similar, so the listings weren't that hard to write.
Yeah, but once you get in a rhythm, you still have to list it. You have to list it. Yeah.
But I also did that one, and it rolled, and there was a lot of stuff, but there was a lot of it was very repetitive and easy. But I've only done it once, and I haven't repeated that again. But I'm trying to list every single day.
You haven't done it since. Yet, don't forget that word. Yet.
Yeah. I'm going to do it like that again.
Watch the day you end up doing 100, and you're going to go, how the heck did I? It'll probably be a long day, but you know what? You'll do it, and you crash the next day.
See, I don't even think I have 100 items in my house to list right now all at once, because I'd have to go to my storage and get more out.
You will. Oh, how did you go to get that one in end of Lamar? Did you get it?
Well, I was up to. You didn't hear the earlier conversation.
No, I'm sorry. I totally
So
missed out.
I left at like 11 o'clock this morning, and I went up there.
Oh, okay. You're in my
And I
neighborhood.
got into the facility, and I was
Yeah.
going to start loading it up into my truck. And I come back down to get my dolly because at first I went up and I was sorting some stuff, and I came back down to get my dolly, and I
Yeah.
realized my keys were sitting in the front seat of the car.
Okay.
And I spent the next 4 hours trying to get into my car.
Oh, you locked. Okay. Yeah. All right. So next time you're gonna have that what do you call that? The hide a key. You're gonna hide that under your. You're gonna,
Yep.
and that's gonna be the best $5 you spend on one of those little things. $10. Who cares?
Yep.
You know, or get it online, but have it for next time. Because that's what we you were talking about spiritual practices. There's an esoteric term that my old community used to use. We call it's a future memory. And what you're doing is it's like planting a seed, but it's really truly is like you believe in here. I'm not gonna. It's not criticizing you. You're not saying I'm gonna. It just you're planting that memory so that when this is not becoming a reoccurrence, because some people are like always clumsy and then they just go through life saying I'm just clumsy. Well, yeah, okay, but what future memories do you have about being more mindful, taking a slower step, being able to say, oh, I'm about to trip, let me step back, and so you can do things in your life, I believe, that really kind of like ease you into the next happening moment. Yeah. So.
Yep. Hello, Cha-Cha. I like this question. I think I just answered it. What is the most quantity of listings you have done in a day? I just answered that one, but mine is 75.
I can't remember. I don't know. I've been sluggish on mine. I'm going to get back into it. There's different things that motivate me for different reasons. And yeah, I think sometimes it's like when you're like not seeing the sales coming in and I got to rush. And so.
Yep. So, but also, one of the things I've realized is as I list more, as I grow my store more, then I'm having to do replacement listings on top of. That's why I had to up my goals, because my goals were kind of, this will get me to the 700 items that she told me I had to list, but then I wasn't taking into account sales. And so I started selling stuff, and then I'm like, now I'm having to replace stuff. I had to up my goals.
That's fine. I think you have 30. You have a pretty good, unless you're selling 30 a day, but that's going to rarely. But I think you're onto something. Just try to keep 30, and if you get your 25 a day, you're going to be really getting there pretty quick. And it's going to come up
there. And that's the thing. Like her challenge was for me to get 700 by Q4.
If you're selling stuff, that's the best thing to happen. I'd rather you see a reseller being like, I didn't get to meet my goal, but you know what? You may not get to 700. I'm not going to, cancel thought. You probably will, but I'm saying if you don't and you get 650, dang, Danica did you a favor. That's a gift right there.
That's 650 more than I got right now. So
you can get 15 2 more days. You can just do 1660 and have 2 slow sale days and say I already caught up, because you will. We all have those slow days.
Mm-hmm.
I got lazy today and I probably listed no more than 10 items, and and out of that, as soon as it's funny is I noticed for me, I can't say for everybody, as soon as I list something sells. It's like first boom, and then it sells. It's like I waited all day, nothing sold, and as soon as I list, sells. And it's like, okay, well, at least you're doing it. That's the main thing. The main and don't ever criticize yourself. I'm not saying
I'm getting better at listing, and that's one of the things too. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. The faster it's going to get. So I think as I get closer to the end of the whole thing, I'm going to be faster at listing, so I'm not spending 5 or 6 hours.
What gets you? What helps you to list when you list it? What gets you in the mood? Is it can you put on some groovy music and just kind of chill? Like I put on these things on YouTube. They're like motivational music that's kind of uplifting and high beat tempos, and sometimes that gets on my nerves and I'll shut it off. But I'll try to take all my pictures. Some people draft. ahead of time, they'll start, even if they just find the subject, put it in draft. And then what they do is they come back with their phone and go to the item. Boom. Like today, I did that with books. I found like 10 books I can list really quick, and I'm
Yeah,
really
see,
grateful.
that's one of the other things I found in that unit today. Because, see, yesterday I was thinking it was all Christmas, and then I got back in there today. I found a
Yeah.
case. I mean, a big case, probably 300 DVDs. That's
Good.
a lot of what we sold at the auction tonight. I sold 3 lots of DVDs with 50 a piece, and I didn't even sell half of the case.
Yeah. That's okay. Oh, you did that on the auctions today?
Yeah, that was at the auction I did with T just a few hours ago.
What kind of ephemera? You said something about ephemera. What? I'm just curious. What was it like?
Postcards. The big one that everybody enjoyed the most was the postcards. I had one that was the postcards from the early 1900s, 1908,
People love that
1909,
stuff.
1910.
Yeah.
A whole book full of them.
Yeah, you're better to unless you're an expert and you can go through and, like you said, get your intuition. You can always cherry pick. Like that's probably a very valuable one. You don't know, but unless you're an expert at postcards. There's a guy here in Austin. I wanted to tell you. Are you familiar with the antique store called Uncommon Objects?
Mm-mm.
So look it up. They've been closed for a while. They just reopened their doors, but on the last Sunday of every month, they have a flea market, but they haven't had it since the pandemic. And they usually call me because I'll come in there. They have a limited space, but it's expensive. It's like $60, but they're really specialty. But they'll let you come in with anything, but they prefer if like you have a niche. Like for me, I'll bring all my, vintage clothes and vintage, and I'm kind of a mixed trade, but they don't want tools and stuff like that. Because look up the store and you'll see they're kind of an artistic store with really unique twist on it. They've been on a couple TV shows too that specialize in that stuff. It's called Uncommon Flea, and I'm hoping that maybe by fall they'll open it back up because it was an awesome thing. But
all right, I'll have to look them up. Maybe take some stuff and because that's one of the things that I've got to do is get some people to look at. I've got stuff that I'm sitting on because I'm afraid of selling it for too cheap because I don't know what I have.
Well, just have friends like shoot them some pictures and stuff once in a while, and they can at least, not that somebody you can trust that's not going to try to bite under you, but and if they do, just tell them to give you an honest price for it, but first quote it, and then or at least get the information you want out of it. Yeah, I do that too. I'll sit on stuff, and then sometimes I bring it to flea markets, and I probably shouldn't sell it because sometimes I didn't do the homework and I'm lazy and I want to get cash flow going. But when you have something good, you kind of come up with a figure in your head, and it's kind of like comping something that's not on eBay, and you go, well, I get to pick the price, and it's fun, Dude, I better get going here pretty quick. Are you gonna stay up late?
Probably not too much later. Like I just said, I gotta do some more listings. So, and I'm supposed to do this live for like an hour, and now we're getting close to the 2-hour mark again. We've done this almost every time. I'm actually running out of. I'm on the free version of StreamYard still, and we're running low on hours, and I still got a few more lives to go before the end of the month.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But Lisa, I'm trying to figure out what your oops was about over here. You're going to oops, guy. I'm so embarrassed.
I wonder what you're embarrassed about.
I don't know. I missed something from Lisa over there. Anyway, Creative Lori says hi, guest of James. I guess I don't have the names up there for some reason. I don't know why they're not showing up.
Who is that? Oh, that's Creative Lori. Lori. Hey, Lori.
Let me see if I can figure it out. Oh, for some reason I got turned off. There we go.
Well, dude, I'm gonna head out of here. I wish you luck. Yeah, you'll get the, and if you know what, you always got to remember one thing too. Is like what at the very moment, like in the present of here and now, what's more important? A little bit of sleep and rest so you can recharge and do better tomorrow, or you just didn't hit your mark today, and that's okay.
Well, it's like I may do that. It's also kind of like today was the big push because I had the auction today.
Yeah.
tomorrow. I've got until 9 o'clock tomorrow night to get that unit cleaned out. So as long as I'm out of there before the gate closes at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm good.
You
I've
just
got all
sweep
day.
it and that's it, really?
And really, I got most of it out today. I've just got to go over there and get the big stuff. I've got the furniture to move.
I was looking online at that website, or you said looking out. And it's funny, as I looked and I was like, wow, wow, wow. I looked at some of the pictures and I thought about bidding on one, but I'm like, until I get my truck, until I have better storage space or get rid of some of this stuff, then, I'm probably not gonna bid on something for a while,
I kicked myself today though, because see, right down the hallway was the other unit. I don't know if you saw my video from yesterday, because I was actually bidding the unit I was showing in yesterday's video. I was bidding on a different unit, and it went right over my budget.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah,
and so this was my backup unit, the one that I won.
Okay. Sounds like
the other unit I was bidding on is right down the hallway from where mine was, and I saw the guy unloading the unit today, and I know because I recognized some of the stuff he was bringing out, so I stopped him and I talked to him. He and I know each other from the storage auctions anyway.
Okay.
And it had exactly what I thought. I was probably about a $3,000 or $4,000 profit unit.
Yeah, but could you have reached that? Highest bid, and be able to.
I don't know what his highest bid would have been, but I was just like,
that's what I'm saying. That, and on top of, would you have storage space for all this stuff? Do you think?
But see, that's what I thought, and I was like, I know these are the kind of units I've been needing to buy because I need to start having some of. One, it's going to help my YouTube channel grow. It's going to help my business grow because I have more money to put back into my business, but.
Yeah,
but also, I'm a treasure hunter, and I gotta get out there and find some treasures instead of dealing with these little piddly ass units because I'm doing what I can afford.
But here's this: take a percentage of every time you make something, and you're gonna have to hide that money away. So you slowly build the collateral, so you can get that big thing, or find somebody you trust that you can go in on it with, and you split. Somehow, you guys figure out some deal. Like, okay. We'll do like you pick one thing, I pick one thing. You pick one thing until you guys find that you're both monetarily right. And then when you have the rest of it, you kind of figure out how to, junk it out.
My thing with it is, honestly, I know I need to get some better units and I'm trying to, but for me, it was a matter of, I know I profiled it was kind of a satisfaction. Yeah, I was a little jealous of the fact that he got the unit and it had exactly what I thought it had in it.
Yeah,
there was some collectibles and some really good stuff in there.
Yeah, but be careful. You're on a fine line if you start. I think it's good to recognize we all have the tendency of jealousy or competition, but that in the reseller world, we can never compare ourselves to somebody else. He just has the fortune.
What I was saying is, it was kind of also validation for me that I knew what I was looking at. And I didn't read the unit wrong when I was profiling.
Good. Yeah. In terms of confidence.
What I was trying to get to was I actually kind of got the validation by talking to him that I read the unit right, and it was exactly what I thought it was. And
your confidence rate is perfect. You just be bold without being cocky, and just know that you're like you said, you're validating yourself, and that you boldly understood. Your confidence level shall never be doubted when it comes to that stuff. You got to go with your gut, and then as you get better, you'll know. I mean, there may be a crap shoot once in a while where you go, oh crap, I should have got that smaller one, and that guy opened it up, and he ended up having the most. You don't know sometimes, but
well, I mean, sometimes you have to gamble in order to really get those bigger units.
Yeah,
but you also, I've always said this, you can never gamble more than you can afford to lose. I'm not going to put my mortgage payment or food on my table at risk.
So what you do is just, it may not be this month, and it may not be this year. And that's okay. But the thing is that you're still buying the smaller units to keep alive, so you can slowly build. And, like I said, you're just going to have to figure out how you're going to have to save it up. And it may not be as big as his, but it'll be next time. Just always go in increment steps. If you spent that, remember how much you spent this time. Try to double it next time. You know.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We've slowly been. You got to realize, a year ago, we started this adventure.
Right. Right.
With
so look where you are now, and your skills are like so. You know, you're like, I get it now. Now you're hyper focused, and you go, I knew what I saw. Good. So next time, you know, you're going to always have competition, but maybe somebody's just not quite getting it. You know how the game is, and you're going to get there. You're just going to get there. Like you said, what was a key word you mentioned? Where you said laws of attraction. When you're ready for it, it will come to you.
Yep. And see, that's what I was getting to. I'm building up. I mean, this unit right here. I mean, this was one of the more expensive units that I've been able to afford to buy. Yeah. Granted, I was planning to buy the one that I was gonna get, that I was trying to get, I was spending 3 times the money on.
And let me put it this way to you. So, you know, spiritual traditions say it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
You are where you need to be right now. And that's not about I know you're hungry and you want to do this and you're like ready, but is this the time? Go back and talk to some of your advisors. Even if the guys that you said, you know, whoever it is, just shoot them an email and say, just remind me why it's not right for me right now, you know. And they'll say, it's just, you know, you're fine, you know.
Yeah, and I get what you're coming from, and that's kind of where I'm at right now myself with it.
You hear me?
I'm not mad about not getting the unit. I'm not upset about it.
It's okay. Dude. You know, anger is a healthy emotion to recognize. It's not a healthy emotion if you act on it. You know what I mean? That's negativity. Yeah. But if you're angry about it, you know, like you look at the parables where Christ was flipping tables, you know, and you know, but there was a reason behind what is your intentions, you know, for really feeling these emotions, and like, okay, I'm ready to take the next step. It's just that I don't have the tools, I don't have the means, I don't have the resources right now, and that's okay. You know, you can be humble and slowly move there. You know, I think you're the turtle right now. You're the turtle that's gonna pass a jackrabbit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm growing slowly. Sometimes I wish it grow. I think part of it too is having the resources. As I'm going through this challenge, as I'm building up my eBay store, making more sales. The more sales we make, the more we have capital to put back into the business to grow. Because everything that comes in, we automatically divide everything out. So I put some.
You also know that every business, a good business, slowly will take time to grow, and a really good business may take 20 years. You know.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily, you know. I would love to be able to buy some of those bigger units, the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 units that everybody else is buying.
You will.
But but I'm okay with not buying them right now. One, I mean, look at these guys. If you see in the background, most of these guys that are buying those big units, they got 3 or 4 people behind them doing all the work.
Yep.
I'm by myself.
So that's a good point. With that comes the responsibility and the headache.
And I've done a 10 by 20 unit by myself. It took me almost a month to clean that thing out.
Yeah. Yeah. How much more in this one do you have to get out? I know you have to have it out by tomorrow. Friday, you said?
I gotta be out by tomorrow. But I've got the furniture and like 2 or 3 boxes, and that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Really, the main thing is getting the furniture out of it.
What is it, like a bed or something?
It's a bedroom suite. So you got the headboard, the footboard.
I think I saw your unit. Did it start? Was it like at $30 yesterday? And
yeah,
it shut.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, like I saw
35. It was like 30 or 40.
I saw like $30 6 hours before it was ready to end. Yeah.
See, I don't know for sure because I wasn't really watching that one. I was already kind of focused on this other one that I was bidding on. And when I realized I was about to lose that other one is when I started looking, because I knew I had to jump over quick because those other auctions were closing. That auction had 3 seconds left on the clock when I put my bid in. I barely got in time.
Mm-hmm. And that guy still had it. Yeah. His bid off.
Snipe it right at the last second. Boom.
That's how they do it. Well, listen, I'm gonna head out. I wish you a best.
I'm actually fixing to cut it short, guys. Thank you guys for coming. Lori, thank you for coming. You have a good night. Lisa, thank you for showing up. Pick with Joy, thank you for coming. Do you have a channel, Joy? I have not seen you before. So I'm gonna go check out your name, if you don't mind, and see if I can find you on YouTube. Pick. Do you have a channel? You're not showing up. There you are. I already subscribed to you. That's weird.
Oh, it won't let me drop it. Okay.
Oh, I think, okay. Yeah, so I got Pick with Joy on my subscription list. Everybody subscribe to everybody. Y'all have a great night. Jessica's calling me anyway, so I need to get off of here.
We'll see you later, okay?
Yeah, y'all have fun. We'll see y'all next time, and have a great night.